Buenos días, buenas tardes, y buenas noches. Bonjour, bonsoir, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, wherever you may be, J. Slater Case, and a short video in which I will try to help bail out the slugster with his absolute fiasco of a bombshell that none of Jay Slater's friends ever went or didn't think of going up to rescue Jay purely because they were told not to. It was a non-starter. This bombshell news, dropped the other day, received quite a lot of criticism, mainly from me, I would say, in the video I did yesterday, lampooning the ridiculous scenario of Lucy May Gregory Law calling the emergency services 10 times in total, and on the sixth time being told a helicopter was being sent out. Do check out that video. In this one, I actually want to help the opposition. I want to see if there can be explanations for why this all happened. This all happening being the 10, count them, 10 phone calls Lucy made to emergency services. The first five with the phone being hung up, the sixth one having a helicopter sent out, and we don't know what happened to the last four. So let me throw out that question immediately for El Slugtardo, Lord Lugworm, who seems to be the spokesperson for Lucy. Cat's got her tongue ever since she got off to Lanzarote following Jay's disappearance. And that would be helpful, by the way. I'm not being sarcastic here. I really do think if Lucy would just get out there on social media and appear in a live or whichever means would be agreeable to her, just get out there and explain all this rather than have Uncle Ivor step in and make a right dog's dinner of it all. Lucy, just tell us what happened for once. Yeah? But that aside, we have to guess because Lucy won't say anything. Uncle Ivor will just throw out nonsense. So we have to try to patch this together. Those of us that are still speculating, we have to patch together what we think happened. Okay, so here I'm going to bail out Lucy first of all. If you remember early doors, Lucy said when she was describing her calls to the emergency services, she said she dialed not 112, the emergency number in Spain, but she dialed 919, I think she said. Now, if I go very quickly to what I pulled up when I Googled what happens in Spain when you dial 919, the answer that pops up, and now I can't find it, but essentially it says that there is no guarantee that that call will go through to emergency services. It depends on the provider, depends on which service is passing that call through. So that does raise the possibility. Is it possible those first five calls, as Lucy is dialing 919 instead of 112, is going through to someone who just put the phone down five times? Could be anyone. We don't know, because Liar Ivor hasn't told us, whether Lucy ever heard a voice on those five failed calls. All we were told was they kept putting the phone down on her. So the whole thing is very odd because Lucy basically lives in Tenerife. Well, that's her base. I mean, she's there all the time. You would have thought she would know the emergency services number if she lives there. And you would have thought that after phone call number two or three, she would have figured out something was wrong with this whole 919 approach. But anyway, let's put that out as a possibility. What it doesn't answer is after the sixth call, when the helicopter is being sent out, we're told, Lucy then makes several other calls. What are all those other calls about? Is she also dialing 919 on calls 7, 8, 9, and 10, and that same person that's really pissed off with her just keeps putting the phone down? Or in calls 7, 8, 9, and 10, is Lucy being told, given updates about the helicopter, being told something else? So, spokesman Ivor, if you could just clarify what exactly, because Lucy won't talk about this, it seems. Liar Ivor, what was Lucy's, what information did Lucy get in calls 7, 8, 9, and 10? What was said in those calls? Or was the phone just put down again? So it seems like Lucy, if she dialed 919, as she said in her interview, may have gotten through to emergency services, but may not. It is a simple way of explaining why 10 calls had to be made and only one of them resulted in, it seems, positive feedback, and how positive it was. It's all very well Liar Ivor saying that the Guardia Civil lied when they said they'd send out a helicopter, but I mean, it is a good response. Um, and I'm not sure, because Liar Ivor was in Wales at the time, he says, how he would know if a helicopter was sent out or not. I mean, in this situation where Lucy's in Los Cristianos somewhere, Liar Ivor's in Wales, and Liar Lucy tells Liar Ivor they lied, Guardia Civil lied, they said they'd send a helicopter out and they never did. Well, how would any of them know whether a helicopter was sent out or not? We can only imagine that Lucy's on the phone to her friend, this mysterious friend guy up in the mountains, and she's saying, "Do you hear a helicopter?" And the mysterious friend is saying, "No, I don't." Well, is that proof a helicopter was never sent out? Just because this mysterious friend, some, I don't know, shepherd guy up in the mountains who happens to know Lucy, I don't know how, some wizened old shepherd guy that happens to be Lucy's best customer for buying her products. Um, oh yeah, he's saying, yeah, I don't hear a helicopter, and that's taken as definitive proof that Guardia Civil lied. I don't think so, but yeah, Liar Ivor needs to check on what happened with those other calls. 919 does not guaranteed to get through to emergency services, and a 112 call would do. Moving on. Um, could Lucy have misheard what was said in the one phone call? She says where she got through and they said a helicopter was being sent. It could be. We do know Lucy has an experience of the phone line dropping because Liar Ivor told us that, didn't he? He said in that conversation between Lucy and Jay, that last one, where Jay's phone dies 8:51 a.m. or 8:52 a.m. on that Monday morning. That yeah, could be that Lucy's phone dropped, and that the communication, it wasn't Jay's phone that cut off. Jay's phone had a bit more life in it. Liar Ivor tells us it was Lucy's phone that may have dropped. So maybe Lucy's phone has a habit of dropping. Is it possible that during this phone call, Lucy's talking to the Guardia Civil, and instead of saying sending a helicopter, they actually said not sending a helicopter? You only want your phone to glitch on the word not, and Lucy hears sending a helicopter, and the operator actually said not sending a helicopter. The word not just, it's a very short word, could be misheard, could be misunderstood, could have been a glitch in the phone line, and Lucy didn't hear the word not. All she heard was sending a helicopter. I've also found that people misunderstand, especially in dodgy phone conversations, the difference between not and now. Again, if Lucy thought she heard now sending a helicopter, and the answer was not sending a helicopter, that too would explain the total miscommunication. There's another scenario that really fascinates me, and that is that the operator, when the operator said, we'll call your friends, make sure your friends know to sit tight, and after yesterday's video with the repetition of sit tight, that very common phrase that Spanish speakers are never heard to have ever said. Yeah, sit tight, Miss Lucy. I just wonder when Liar Lucy reported to Liar Ivor that all the friends were told to sit tight, sit tight. I wonder if that operator asked Lucy for all the friends' phone numbers and their names, and Lucy gave the whole list. And then the Spanish operator is looking down the list, and she says, "Well, they're all English names, or apart from Ayub Abdul Qasim, apart from him, all English names." Oh, wait a minute. Steven Fortes Rocas. Fortes Rocas. Es español. Vamos a llamarle. Let's call him. He's the Spanish speaker. So I'm just wondering if the first phone call went through to Steven Fortes Rocas, who's snoring his head off in the car, 2 headies to the head, and the Spanish operator's going, rabbiting away in Spanish, saying, "Can you call all your friends to tell them not to go to Jay's last known location?" And Stephen Fortes Rocas is like, yeah, I'm fast asleep. I'm knocked out. And so the words sit tight, were the Spanish operator telling Sleeping Beauty in the car outside the Airbnb not to sit tight, but to sleep tight. Maybe that was it. Stephen, sorry. Sleep tight, sleep tight. Sit tight, sleep tight. You choose. But I mean, it's possible. The operator sees the name Rocas. Call him. Speak Spanish. He doesn't speak Spanish. Oh, sorry. You were sleeping in the car. Hangover. Sleep tight, sleep tight. Might be. It might be sarcastic as well. Keep that in mind. It might be that call number 6, someone with a sense of humour said, tell you what, this girl that keeps calling to report her teenage friend drunk, high, stumbling around, and they want a helicopter sent out. I tell you what, call 6, tell them the helicopter's sent out. I mean, sarcasm, I know it doesn't work on little kids, but teenagers, they're often full of sarcasm to each other all the time, ad nauseum. So maybe the operator's thinking, oh, it's a teenage girl, let's use sarcasm. Maybe she'll get it then. And they said, yeah, okay, your teenage friend, your man here, your boy here who's stumbling around drunk and high and he's in the Masca Mountains. Yeah, right, okay. Sure, we'll send a helicopter out immediately. Are you happy now? Maybe it was a sarcastic response. I don't know. What happens when you dial 919 instead of 112? Maybe you get the fake emergency services talking to you. They had a good laugh at that one. You can imagine Patricia and Manuela having a right giggle after call number 6. I told her we send the helicopter out. You know, they're having a right giggle up till lunchtime. Yeah, could be sarcasm. Could be problems with calling 919. Could be that they spoke to Stephen Rocas first. Could be a confusion between no sending helicopter and now sending helicopter and not sending helicopter. Um, Intonation in Spanish is often a way of asking a question. If you don't get the intonation, you don't know it's a question. So if the operator replied to Lucy in Spanish, enviar helicóptero, I mean, Lucy might have understood that to be a statement. We're sending, enviamos helicóptero. Do you want us to send out a helicopter? Now, if the intonation isn't right, that could come out as a statement. We are sending out a helicopter. It's not that much difference. If you're not good at intonation, the phone call's dodgy, and you hear "enviamos helicóptero," you're not sure if are they asking me, shall we send out a helicopter, or are they saying we are sending out a helicopter? Intonation in Spanish is very important. I don't know if you know this, but in Spanish, it's the only language, I believe, where you have an upside down question mark in written Spanish to indicate a question is coming up. Because often the question and the statement are the same. It's only your voice that indicates it's a question. So in written Spanish, you have to put a question mark at the beginning of the question to indicate it's a question, not a statement. I'm just saying, in this phone call, it's entirely possible that what Lucy took as a statement was a question. Huh, we're sending a helicopter out? You bloody joking? And Lucy took it to mean they're sending a helicopter out. There's one other possibility I want to venture down, and this one it fascinates me. There's a phrase in Spanish, go to hell. It's equivalent of English, go to hell. Yeah? Enviar a la porra. Enviar a la porra, te envío a la porra. So if the operator said, go to hell, te envío a la porra, it could sound a bit like, te envío helicóptero. So the words, I'm sending out a helicopter, don't sound that strange in a dodgy phone call to go to hell. So call 6. If the operator was telling Lucy to go to hell, te envío a la porra, yeah, it could come out in Lucy's head as te envío helicóptero. I don't know. There's another one I didn't know, phrase I didn't know, enviar a paseo. But if you say te envío a paseo, it doesn't sound like helicóptero. It could be. It could be. That fascinates me. Operator said, go to hell, te envío a la porra, and it comes out in Lucy's head as te envío helicóptero. She never heard helicóptero. It's one of those things, once you've imagined in your head that you've heard a word, it's very hard to tell yourself that you got it wrong. Lucy was told to go to hell, and she thought she heard the operator saying we're sending out a helicopter. They don't sound that different. You know what? I've done my best to get Lucy and Luggy out of this. I can't do it with any great confidence, but all of those scenarios that I thought about in the last 24 hours would explain why we have this dog's dinner of an explanation from Uncle Ivor, and Lucy's bizarre story of calling emergency services, yeah, in the States, 919, 10 times. Really weird stuff. All right, let's leave it there. Hasta luego, adios, hasta la próxima. See you next time.